What's up, guys? Michael James with Beyond the Forbidden. Do you want to receive extra content that's not viewed anywhere else? Support Beyond the Forbidden on Patreon to receive plus content that is only exclusive to members of Beyond the Forbidden. Content like the full 2-hour podcast, bonus shows, full-length video interviews, behind-the-scenes footage with guests, and much more. So what do you have to lose? Go to patreon.com/Beyond the Forbidden. That's patreon.com/Beyond the Forbidden and become a member of Beyond the Forbidden for just $5 a month. And also check the description for the links.
And somebody had left me a comment a while back about the 7 Salem solar eclipse. Now, I remember the solar eclipse happening because that was when I first moved to Arizona, the Sedona area. And I actually participated in kind of a nice ceremony, if you will, when that happened. And then didn't think twice about it. And then I heard about this from a viewer, and this eclipse goes through at least seven historical Salems. Some are still there, some aren't. And so I decided to go through the Salems. And the first thing off the bat that I found, first of all, is that there's the one in 2017 and there's another one in 2024, a 7-year period. I got the most awesome comments from viewers on this one because a lot of people experienced major spiritual awakening kind of things on that day. It was really interesting. And the numbers are really interesting for it too. But I wanted to show you that in 2024, somebody else left me a comment that the 2024 solar eclipse path goes through 9 Salems. So 2017 goes through 7 and 2024 goes through 9.
I may have to take a 4.5-hour drive to Little Rock or 3.5-hour drive up north to Little Rock.
So the path of totality is when where this is where it gets the darkest during the total solar eclipse. And there are other examples. This is the one I know of. I think other people have done other research, but how do you explain that other than this civilization was so on top of all events in the heavens and the earth that these cities are actually lined up in certain ways in certain places for certain eclipses? You know, like it's all perfectly organized. And this was this one here, the 2024 path. I had actually, before I started doing the research for this, I had researched those cities because they showed up in a linear alignment that I had found. And so I had just done the research for that. It's almost city for city. So it was lined up perfectly. And then the center where it got the darkest, and might take me just a second to find it, is a place called Giant City State Park, just south of Carbondale in Maconda, Illinois.
You did all this on this article?
What I did was, I went through and I looked at each place that was on the path.
You have a lot of information right here. Wow. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And the cumulative result of that is I've got all this stuff rolling around in my head, and I'm making connections faster and faster because I've already looked at so much stuff.
Faster than you can put it down, right?
That I can, that I can go back and look at it. Let me see here real quick. That's not what I'm looking for.
The center of something.
So anyway, it's fascinating. So I lived in Wyoming too, so that's kind of interesting.
And I guarantee you that line that's going through those cities in 2024, probably back then, I would bet if you did a lot of digging or research, those cities within that line, that's probably not the first time with all these cities with the 7 Salem solar eclipse or whatever. I'm assuming that happens in cycles, and I would think that these cities, if you looked and dug, have a lot of Tartarian buildings or buildings that got demolished back in the the World Fair or the exhibitions and all that,
Right. And Tartaria is the best known because I think the research came out of Asia, which was the historical Tartaria. But this civilization that was worldwide had its roots in Mu, in Lemuria. And so that's where you get the word Moors, M-U'-U-R-S from. And so they're ancient. And this is the empress of the Washita that passed away not too long ago. And they got some kind of recognition through the UN of being the oldest indigenous civilization on Earth. And, you know, that was the imperial seat in Monroe that we talked about earlier. And then you see things like, you know, was Egypt and Israel, for that matter, already long established in America? Because you find, you know, references to an Egyptian presence in BC America, and you get Hebrew archers in ancient Illinois, you know, and I think the reason for that was because it was all part of the same civilization. And when it got taken down and this reset happened, they just, you know, fragmented it and, you know, took things apart that were actually originally part of the same thing. And this is where I'm going here. Giant City State Park experienced longest period of totality at 2 minutes and 40 seconds. And it's in Makanda, M-A-K-A-N-D-A. Well, it doesn't take, you know, rocket science to figure out that sounds like Wakanda. And it was called the Star of Egypt. But Giant City State Park is, I mean, they want us to think that's natural. But if you look at other things there, and again, this is south of Carbondale, which is known as Little Egypt. That whole area of southern Illinois was known as Little Egypt. And, you know, you see their walls.
Wow.
You know, they're ancient masonry walls. But we don't see that. We see natural because that's what they want us to see.